Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this the press conference. It's the Total Energies Confederation Cup semi-final clash between Stellenbosch from South Africa and Simba SC from Tanzania. And this is the second leg. We know how things turned out in the first leg out in Tanzania. We're now joined by Stellenbosch FC coach, Coach Steven Baka, as well as the captain, Sage Stevens. Coach, let me start with you. We know what transpired in Tanzania. This is the second leg. To use the cliche, it's a do or die affair for Stellenbosch.
Good morning, everybody. Obviously, going 1-0 down in Tanzania. We had sort of looked to hopefully get away with a more positive result and maybe an away goal. So, obviously, a bit of a precarious sort of scoreline to be in, but it's not long ago that Simba were lost 2-0 away from home, and then they won their game 2-0 back in Tanzania, and it obviously then went to penalties. We're excited. We're happy to be back home. We're happy to still be very competitive and to still be in the tie, and we have a strong belief and a strong confidence that we can continue to just exceed expectations, and there's no reason why we can't go into the game tomorrow and make sure that we get ourselves into a final.
Thank you, Coach. Sage, from a player's point of view, I mean, you've never been at this level of the competition. You're so close to the final. How much pressure is there on the team, the players especially?
Good morning, everyone. To answer your question, pressure, we, like the coach said previously, we're entertainers. That's what we get paid to do. We're in a great position being in the semi-final second leg. Though the first leg didn't go to plan, obviously first time playing against Simba, now we know what we're up against. Stellenbosch being a team that bounces back very well, but we're not looking at it entirely as pressure. We're using it as a motivation. It's a nice pressure to handle. It's a nice pressure to welcome, being in a semi-final second leg, when a lot of people didn't think we'd be in this situation, and we just want to do the club proud, the country proud, and make sure we can go as far as possible, and hopefully that's to the final.
Thank you, Sage. Once again, thanks, Coach. Members of the media, this is now your chance. If you could just say who you are, sir, and who the question is directed to.
Thank you. I am the news of CFM. Question is directed to Coach Steve Barker. Coach, obviously in quite a tough position going into this match with the away goal situation. You couldn't score in Tanzania, and then Simba coming here. So what's psychologically, what's the approach from your team's perspective? Obviously you want to win the game, but there's also the pressure of trying not to concede. So what would you say is the approach going into this one?
Yeah, look, obviously, like any football match, you want to be difficult to beat, difficult to break down, not conceding. So, we've shown that in all the ties that we've played, including the MTN where it's been home and away, I think it's 9 of those type of matches where we've only conceded 2, one late goal away to AS Vita, and then obviously the Simba goal. So, we are confident that we can keep a clean sheet, and we're confident that on the other end we can apply pressure and get the goal. So, it's a little bit difficult for both teams, because the longer the game goes, where maybe there's no sort of scoreline, and then we are able to get a goal, and it's getting close to penalty shootout. What is the approach of the opposition? Do they then sort of see the same, or it puts us in a position to go on and win the game? So we know what we need to do. We know that we've got to try not concede and score, and football is football. You can never say it will never happen. If we had to concede, then we just have to know that we must win by 2 goals, and it's a great position to be in. It's a massive learning curve for us as a football team, these type of opportunities. So it's not something that we fear. It's not something that we're afraid of. It's something that we in fact relish to take on the challenge. yes, like I said, they were able to come back from a 2-0 scoreline. There's no reason why we can't from a 1-0 scoreline.
Sven, you've got the mic. Oh, I thought you were asking a question. Yes, sir.
Question to you as well, again, Coach. Obviously, last night was a bittersweet moment for the country with Sundowns going through, which was great, and Orlando Pirates sadly going out. How are you looking at this in terms of balancing it out and then having a second South African team into a CAF final? What's the feeling around Stellenbosch?
Yeah, it was a strange, because at some stage it looked like Sundowns weren't the ones that were going to qualify, and then they did, and then the opposite side happened where it looked like Pirates, may qualify, and they didn't. So, I was hoping it would be an all South African final, but I think what it has shown is that South African teams are competitive, and that we can compete with the best on the continent. And we, would love to have another South African team in a final. I think, I'm trusting and hoping that it's not just back in Stellenbosch. I think, all our fans are really behind us, and some will be travelling to the match. We're just hoping that, the broader South African community, especially down here in Durban and KwaZulu-Natal, can come in their numbers and, not be specifically supporting Stellenbosch, but supporting a South African team. I think it would be a massive achievement if we could have 2 teams in 2 finals. So hopefully we can do ourselves proud, our fans, our town proud, and also South Africa proud.
And Coach, maybe as a follow-up to that, what lessons were learned from last night? Sundowns were almost out, but they eventually were in, and then Pirates were almost in, but they eventually out. So what lessons for Stellenbosch did you get from last night?
Yeah, it's just never to give up, keep believing. And yeah, it's at the level of football where, teams like Pyramids are really good teams, and you can, they showed their quality and they showed their class in the final stages of the match to get themselves through. So, yeah, I just learned that we are competitive and we can compete with the best teams on the continent, and you just got to keep playing till the final whistle, whether you're chasing a game or whether you're holding on to a game.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, Coach. I'm Irene.
Microphone. Yes, ma'am. Try again.
Hello, Coach.
Yeah, now it's on.
Hello, Coach. I'm Irene from Tanzania Broadcasting Corporation. I'm asking to play on this ground is a bit hard or a bit easier for you. We have told that you have moved from Cape Town to here.
Yeah, similar to back home where Simba did not play at their home ground. But no, it's not difficult for us. Durban is home. It's in our country. We've played many matches here of late. We've had Confed qualifying matches as well as group stage matches. So we're well familiar with the surroundings. We in fact enjoy being in Durban. And it's been a kind field to us mostly. So I don't see it as being difficult. It's still an advantage. It's still in our home country. We are very familiar with the surroundings.
Sage, from a player's point of view, how much belief is there in the team, especially now that you're playing at home, okay, home away from home?
That's one thing that we don't lack is the belief. Our quality shows throughout the squad, and I mean, coming as far that we have, it just shows how strong our team and how competitive our team is. So the further we go, the more we accomplish as a team, the more we do well on the pitch. It just builds our confidence even more, and I think it can show in our performances, the way we've played throughout the season, competing on all fronts and playing as many games as we have, and being the first time that we've competed in this competition. So I think the confidence shows throughout.
Greeting, Coach. I don't know if you can hear me.
Yes, I can.
Yes, if you can just say your name and where you're from, sir.
Coach, Kundo Dada from SABC Sports. Coach, looking at the run that you've had in the CAF Confederation Cup and Pirates and Sundowns, what it has done to South African football. Just for you personally, as a coach, what this success has done for you, and what do you think you can build from this?
Yeah, I think personally it's always satisfying, of just a lot of years of hard work and building and being part of this special football club from, getting promoted and just the way we've sort of risen and grown as a team. So yeah, it is very satisfying for me, but I'm more sort of happy for the players for what they do each and every day. A lot of people didn't believe we could go to Zamalek and be in the semi-final, and maybe some people are believing we can't be in the final, but I've said from day one that any team that underestimates us in this competition will do so at their peril. The players are raring to go. We felt a bit hard done by in Tanzania, and it's an opportunity on home soil now to correct that, and we've got really nothing to lose, to be honest. We can go out there and we can play with just excitement and with sort of desire and just really have a go, because it's a once-off game, and we want to be in a final. We always say to each other that if we make a semi-finals, we might as well go to the final, and once we're there, then we say we might as well win it.
Coach, without revealing your hand too much, we see Sage here. How's he looking for tomorrow?
Yeah, Sage has been training well the last couple of days. So yeah, we did bring Sage together with the other two goalkeepers. So Sage will do a late fitness call on Sage. We're trusting and hoping that he'll be available come tomorrow.
Question for Sage. Obviously, Sage, Stellenbosch is one of a few South African teams that have been progressing season after season, and you guys are reaching new heights in different competitions. What would you say are some of the biggest lessons from a player's perspective and as a group that you guys have taken from this season, playing in tough away games in Africa, and how much do you think that has grown you guys?
One of the few lessons that we've learned throughout this competition, and Coach Steve has done very well in this emphasis, we've taken every trip, and the experiences that we've gone through, we've always looked back to how we live back here in SA and what people are going through throughout, let's say, the world and the whole of Africa. We look at the experience and we experience it, and not only that, we appreciate what we have back at home. So a lot of the things we've come to appreciate and enjoy the trips, and look forward to the time that the players get to bond and build that special cohesion with one another. So I think in that sense, it's just made our squad so much stronger. Our camaraderie is just at the highest level that it can be, and just enjoying the moment, because this doesn't happen every time, so to reach a semi-final of this competition. So just enjoy the run that we're on.
I'll take the last two questions. Yes, sir.
Coach, just looking at the success that we have, just to follow up on the question that I asked, how do we maintain this success as South Africa? Because we see this is the greatest era of South African football domestically. We see you guys are growing every season, and before we used to think that African football, like domestically, it's for North Africans, West Africans, but in South African countries now, with Tanzania, South Africa doing so well. How do we maintain this success?
Yeah, look, I think it does start with our, the national team have also had success of late, in the AFCON, another AFCON on the horizon, hopefully qualifying for the World Cup. And I think, the team like Sundowns, who've been competing on the continent for as long as they have been and been successful, when they play in our league, you do get a sense and realize where you have to be as a football team if you want to be competitive, not only locally but also in Africa. They've set the benchmark. I've always said it, that it's other teams' responsibilities to reach the level that they're on. It's not their responsibility to drop. They've got massive ambitions. They're going to the World Club Cup sort of soon. So I think that just all round, when your national team is doing well, when local teams are reaching semi-finals and finals, I think it's just good for the whole nation. It gives us belief as a country and the players that we belong where we are. And hopefully, that's a stepping stone for the younger players and the generations to come, that they can aspire to also, be playing on the continent and on the world stage. So I think to maintain that success, it's just about continuing to just push boundaries and be better in terms of our performances, in terms of our development of our players, and just aiming higher than what we perhaps felt that we could achieve. And I think by all of that we can continue and we can maintain that success.
Okay, thank you. Ngobane from Highway. Coach, you play Coach Patrick Davis is also from South Africa. What would it mean to win tomorrow's game against the very experienced team, Simba, you've beaten Zamalek, and how much that has boosted your team coming into this semi-finals, and also to Sage. I know you guys have experience, but from the first round up until now, what have you taken as the team, the Stellenbosch team, playing in this competition for the first time?
It's. I think I was mentioning it the other day. Firstly, when we were in Tanzania, it was nice to meet up with Fadlu, also his assistant Darian. When I was at Amazulu, I appointed Darian to be a part of Amazulu, and I knew that he was destined for to become a good coach. We jokingly said at least there'll be a South African coaching pair in the final. Hopefully it will be us, but it's nice to see Fadlu and Darian doing as well as they are. The whole technical team is from South Africa, the conditioner, the goalkeeper coach, the analyst. So it's nice to see South Africans on that stage also doing well. And then, playing against these big teams, I was reflecting and thought, we played third-ranked team in Africa, Zamalek. We played against the fourth-ranked team in Africa, which is Simba, and we played against the fifth-ranked team in Africa, which is RS Bekane. So, we're around in the 20s, and we've been able to hold our own. I think RS Bekane was a big learning curve for us in the beginning of the competition. But I believe that, if we manage to make the final and play Bekane, who I believe will get through, considering they won the first leg 4-0, it'll be a totally different story. But it's just nice to be competing with the best on the continent.
Next question?
To answer your question, we've learnt a lot as a team, how to manage games, how to play in certain situations, different opposition, different styles of play. But one of the biggest things that we've learnt as a squad this season playing in this competition is how to deal with a lot of off-the-field situations that we have no control over. And I think the way we've handled those situations has shown tremendously throughout this competition.
Thank you very much to Coach Steve Parker, as well as